stars. And today I have a very, very interesting deck on the table. The Ninth Dimension Tarot by St. Crow. It is a game kit of 14 different games in one. I found this on eBay and I was smitten. Very curious. I thought, oh my goodness, what is this? This looks right up my alley. I love things that are very off the beaten path, very obscure, and this definitely caught my eye, and I was like, I'm all over it. I have never seen anything like this come up on eBay or anywhere else ever. So I was very excited to get my hands on this. Yeah, it's a very interesting piece of work, and the literature is very fascinating. So first off, I would like to introduce you to a little friend of mine that wanted to show up and participate, and I thought he was perfect. And I've had this guy forever, so he's our little alien, our little spaceman that's gonna, I don't know, just hang out with us while we visit the Ninth Dimension Tarot. And then I have this lovely, this is a small one. I actually have a quite large crystal ball, but how fabulous is this, right? For going into the ninth dimension. Ooh, that is just so good. I'm feeling it. Okay, I'm entertaining myself. And this is a gorgeous piece. Also reminded me of something that would benefit from hanging out today with the Ninth Dimension Tarot. And of course, these guys are always fun to resonate with. And then I've got, the big daddy of them all. This guy goes on my altar outside in the garden. And yeah, he's quite powerful. And he's got some good girth. So yeah, thanks for coming along and hanging out. All right, here we go. Without further ado, let's get into In Full Color, the Ninth Dimension Tarot by St. Crow. 14 different games in one. And here it says, predict the future. Discover the truth about your friends and yourself. Experiment and test results scientifically. Who's going to win the election? The big game, the fight, or for that matter, the lotto. So without further ado, let's take a look at what's going on here. Now, I've pulled everything out of the box because it's just a bit of a precarious box, as you can see. But here's the booklet, and after all, we will find out that this deck is from 1979, Whittier, California. Copyright created and written by Calmira Leosis. Calmira Leosis. An instruction booklet designed to make the reading of the tarot cards an easy and fascinating experience. Well, I'm intrigued. So we have the table of contents. Let's get down a little bit closer so we can have a better view. There it is. And let's see what it says here. The Ninth Dimension Tarot is a very unusual game for adults. For while it is based on the ancient card game of tarot, it goes beyond and makes tarot a fascinating experiment in ESP, psychology, and philosophy. It is an experiment because every time you play the game, the data, the cards, the moment, one's emotions and mental state all differ. Each factor varies, each interpretation varies, and each prediction differs from those in the past. You, the player, must weigh the factors and determine the accuracy of each conclusion you make. You may decide if a psychokinetic energy is in operation, or if there is such a thing as mind over matter. The Ninth Dimension Tarot game kit gives you the opportunity to do your own testing. I love it. How fabulous is that? Okay, and then it talks about how to shuffle the tarot deck. And, you know, when I was reading this briefly, it looked like it was old school. Right to left. Okay. So that tells you how to shuffle the cards. How to read the tarot cards. So we have 78 tarot cards with the meaning as well as numerical value, the meaning of the numerical values for each card. And it also has definitions. It has the alchemical value, the dimensional value, instant fortune, past, present, conscious, thought, and future. What are the numerical values and how do they work? So here we have symbols in Roman numerals. The dimensions run on a scale from 1 through 9. It symbolizes the spiritual value of the card. The higher the dimension, the higher the spiritual value of the card. Normally, most cards will be in the third dimension. Cards in the first and the second dimension are clearly inferior in spiritual value. While beginning with the fourth, the card indicates a rare phenomenon that increases in rarity up to the ninth. 1 and 2 inferior. 3 equals average everyday experiences. 6, 5, and 4 equal rare spiritual strivings and experiences. 7, 8, 9 equal the highest levels of spiritual attainment. I mean, how interesting is that? I love that. Okay, and then down here, you know, again, the alchemical value, mysterium conjunctionis, the par value, the astrological symbols. Here are the games, experiments, test, and readings, the psychological test. It might be a good idea to start with this test. The object is to simply determine your own response to the cards. Here you will attempt to see if you tend towards the more negative interpretations of the cards or the more positive. Oh, that's interesting. You may discover some new things about yourself if you rigorously try to be objective. Remember, there is no right or wrong to this test, as there is an attempt for you to see how you see yourself. Wow. Okay, I like this. Lay 6 cards out in a row after shuffling them and reversing 15 cards in the prescribed manner. Yeah, this is like how they used to do the deck in ancient times, I believe. I did some research on that, or not ancient times, but in antiquity times. They had a very specific way that you were to shuffle and deal the cards. And of course, I don't do that because I don't read reversals. I'm too chicken, I guess. That would be me on the positive side. Okay, then it has these questions. Did your cards tend to describe you accurately? This looks like what we call today interviewing your deck. Or are you interviewing yourself? That's very cool. The fourth card, instant fortune or the triangle fortune. So here we're getting into some of the games that you can play. Card 1 represents the past. the present. Card number 3 is something that the questioner has consciously thought about recently. Oh, that's cool. So that's number 3. And then number 4 represents the future. I'll try to reconstruct a reading I gave for a friend. You will find it helpful to look up the definitions as we go along. This was something that I thought was really interesting about this book and the author. She actually gives personal, in-depth described accounts of her own experiences with how she worked this deck and how she played it as a game. And it's a lot different than, you know, my approach or how I was taught to approach it. You know, for me, there was a lot of, oh gosh, how am I going to say this? More new age properties attached to how you read the tarot. It was more esoteric and more mysticism. This isn't that. This is a scientific game and the outcome of that game. It's like going to Vegas and, you know, playing craps or, yeah, right? It's a totally different perspective on how to do tarot. And I find it very refreshing and very interesting. So here you're just getting the scientific details of how the actual game of tarot is played. Now, if you want to add anything to that, like your psychoanalysis, you know, introspective, you know, who am I, my shadow work, you know, that's all fine and dandy, but that's not what happens here. Here is where you can tell the outcome of an election or who's going to win the golf tournament. Games, experiments, tests, and readings. And it tells you how to do the experiments. They're actually calling this deck experiments, and they give you scientific ways to test your results. It's very interesting. So here's a sample reading of the question game. But I'm loving this, the 12 card clock of life reading. And here it says to do it on a rainy night when you have a lot of time. I love that. You're going to want a pencil and a piece of paper. You have to take some notes. It's just so good. The election game. And here she goes into her own personal story of how this deck of cards worked for her, her own experiences. During the 1970 elections, I was on the road visiting the major cities in the county and demonstrating the tarot cards to customers in selected department stores. Oh, she was in department stores. How fabulous. Probably like Bullock's. Remember Bullock's? Okay, because the trip was rather lengthy and my evening rather lonely, I spent a good deal of the time reading newspapers and became interested in senatorial and gubernatorial elections in the various states that I was visiting. I began to experiment with the tarot cards and finally developed a game which I used to predict the outcome of the 1970 elections. I was about 80% accurate, hitting the winners and the percentages considerably higher than I would have if left to guessing alone. In several cases, I repeated the game more than once with the exact results following each time. This is how it works. Isn't that great? Oh my God, I love it so much. This is going to be so much fun. The sporting event game. Oh, look, here she gives very detailed instructions. Republicans, Democrats. So interesting. And I love this one. I had to put a star next to it. The stock market buy and sell game. Okay, I'm interested. What does it say? This game is really a game of ESP. It should sharpen your intuitive senses and your ESP faculties. It may be played with more than one player. Shuffle the cards thoroughly and reverse 10 as previously described. Reshuffle and deal only the first card. You will need a scratch pad and pencil. I love it. A game of ESP. Okay, I'm in. And yeah, I want to make some money on the stock market. Like, why not? Let's go. We're going to Vegas, babe. Come on. Get your tarot cards. We're going to go shoot some craps. Here we have the card game. And then we have Tarot, the ancient game of tarot, the game Sigmund Freud played regularly. So it talks about that. So it tells you how to play the ancient game. They did call it ancient. I would have said something more antiquity, but I don't know. Maybe they're referring to this being from Egypt, which a lot of people don't agree with. But apparently the first card deck ever found in existence was in ancient Egypt that was brought over by the Persians, and it was a card game. Okay, so let's see here. Now it goes into the description of the majors. You've got your description of the Fool. Then you've got your alchemical value, your dimension value. Remember, we read up on what that is. I think that's so fascinating. Astrological symbol and your par value. I don't know what that is yet. I'll have to do some more research. I find this book very fascinating, easy to read, and it just looks fun. It's not too deep. I think it's a great fit to all the woo-woo metaphysical stuff that was kind of like crammed down my throat through the decades of, researching and developing my aesthetics with the tarot. It's like 1 + 1 = 2. It's that simple. We're not going to add a color to it. We're not going to add a feeling to it. This is how it rolls. So I kind of like that. So yeah, there's that. Okay? I thought that was very interesting. So without further ado, let's take a look at the cards, because to be honest with you, that's why I bought this deck. I'm an artist. I'm visual. I love me, my beautiful bling bling. But however, I don't know if this is the most powerful designed backs of a tarot deck. It kind of reminds me of the Fifth Element, but mostly it reminds me of Total Recall. This seriously reminds me of a scene out of Total Recall. And you can see how they did the backs with the copyright 1971. I think that's fabulous. It looks like, is it gonna not come into focus? Come on, babe. It looks like a typeface on a comic book, specifically The Simpsons. I mean, just so 70s. It's so good. Cardstock, not so great, but we're going to get into it anyhow. Here we go. And I love this type of artwork. This is Cubism. This is Picasso vibe. I think it's fabulous. I love the color palette. I love the color palette. And, psychologically, how are these blocks of color resonating in my subconscious mind? I mean, there's that. And it's very interesting to me because as I went through this deck, first of all, I love the black border around this side. There's this beautiful black border, and on this side it's white. So I'm very happy with that. I think that is just very good. So 60s. I mean, this is early 1970. She probably started working on this in 68, 69. Just love it so much. I mean, the colors are great. The print quality, the color of the ink is like, how? Especially during the early 1970s, it's just so sublime. Really well done. Really well done. And you can see that each plate is its own piece of artwork and signed. Each card, each plate, each piece of artwork is its own individual piece of work, and it has been signed. Back then they didn't have computers. I mean, did we barely probably had like Xerox machines. So fabulous. I mean, look at the color on this. I mean, this is 1970s. It's kind of hard to believe. I mean, the colors do look like they're from the early 80s, but I just love it so much. Look at him. Oh, he's just so handsome. And I love his hat. It looks like a circus tent. Oh, just so good. And look at our Hierophant. Isn't he magnificent? So sharp and pointy and, oh gosh, just, very, very strict, don't you think? I mean, look at the look on his face. So bizarre. And the lovers with the infinity symbol. That is so beautiful. So much movement. So powerful. As they become one. I love that. And you see each card has its own color. I'm not so sure that they replicated the color palette throughout the deck. I mean, so far, everyone is different. These two are the same. The orange is similar. Yes. But what a great, they really, she really just has a beautiful color palette. And you know what else I love? I'll be honest with you. I had shuffled this deck and I thought, oh my God, now I'm going to do a viewing of it and it's out of order and that's just going to take forever. No, each card is numbered. Easy peasy, not Roman numeral. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I love that. It makes it so much more simpler. I love the simplicity of this deck. I think it's brilliant. And I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. I love this kind of artwork. Oh, so good. Cubism. So brilliant. It looks like a pirate. I just think it's so well done. And look at the difference between this orange and this orange. Like this has pink, pinky orange, but this is such a great color, orange. I mean, this is the type of orange that Buddhists wear. And they call that, what do they call it? Cinnabar, is that correct? Saffron. It's a saffron. Wow, look at that. So beautiful. Look at these two side by side. Isn't that just so much fun? So well done. I'm just so happy that I bought this. And look at the color palette on the star. Oh, it's just so relaxing. Isn't that magnificent? I think it's brilliant. I mean, it's just so weird. And I can't wait to read the book thoroughly. I'm kind of really excited. But what the little tidbits that I did read, I'm very intrigued. Look at that. So good. You know, and then here we go into the pips, and you know, each wand is individually drawn. It's not like nowadays you can draw one wand and put 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on a card. You know, you just copy and paste. Back then they didn't do that. They couldn't do that. And I love that. Each wand is its own spark of thought and energy. It's not a copied version of itself. So boring, too easy. It's right up there with artificial intelligence, isn't it? When you think about it. See how each one of these are its own wand with its own handle. I just love that so much. Look. Oh, the colors. Just stop. I am smitten. I just think it's fabulous. I am so geeking out. Look at how cute the 9 is. Each card is signed, right? So wonderful. Those are adorbs. And I love this color palette right here. Very, very happy. I'm so happy that I bought this. It's like one of my favorite. It's right up there with the Insight Institute Tarot, which I need to find the book for that, because I think that would be really interesting to find out their perspective. The Insight Institute. I think this is right up there, if you want my opinion. Look at that. So good. And I love that each cup is different. Of course, she drew each individual cup on here. It's just so good. You know, when things are too perfect all the time, and oh, this cup has to look exactly like that cup, or this star has to look exactly like that star, or that pentacle needs to look exactly like that one. It does kind of, it starts to look like wallpaper after a while, and it makes it a little bit difficult to find some intimacy with the deck, with the read. I mean, this is such an interesting color palette. So good. And the theory behind this just calls to mind Mondrian, several other artists. What was that guy's name that did the color theory? That's all he did. He did color theory. I think he's still alive, if I'm not mistaken. I do have a book on that. I do. Now this one's a little bit different. Color theory, a dictionary of color combination. Right. See? And then there's all these psychological ramifications of how the subconscious mind deals with certain color palettes. I mean, we've all heard of the, hospital green walls. Speaking of which, there it is. So I'm really curious about if this particular deck had that thought process put into it while designing it, or is it just, I don't know, fabulous on its own without having to think about that. It's just so good. Look at the queen and her mug. It's not a cup, it's a mug. Oh, that's not the queen. This was the king. Oh, he's so bizarre looking. They're so weird looking. They look like my alien. Ugh. You're just a perfect fit. Go into the swords gamut. Here we are. Beautiful. Look at that dark blue. I don't remember seeing this dark blue. See what I'm saying? Like each card is its own individually printed card. I mean, who does that? This blue is different. Wow. That's exquisite. Yep. Very cool. And I love this one. The Four of Swords. It looks like a, outdoor little Christmas tree lighting or something. Beautiful. Dark, dark blue with that weird green. So good. Look at that, the 6. I really like this deck. It makes me want to have a martini with, some like pumps while wearing pumps and putting my hair in a beehive or something. It's just so good. Isn't it just fabulous? Now, the Pentacles is a very interesting suit, and watch what happens when we roll through this. Again, each pentacle is its own artwork, standing on its own. Nothing is the same. Everybody has its own individual personality coming through on the artwork, on the deck, and I love that. It's like when you remote view particles. Each particle, each cell has its own personality. No two are alike. Look at this. So good. And here, I love this rendition of the Pentacles because they're not facing you. They're either flowing away from you or towards you. They're rolling. They're in motion. It's just so good. And this one just looks a little wonky and tossed, like there's no real structure to it, which is perfect for the 5. It's just so brilliant. And here we have jewelry, of course. I mean, you know, show me some bling bling, baby. Come on. There it is. Rocket. 9 of Pentacles. It's, to me, I just think this is a most brilliant and beautiful, weirdest deck I think I have ever seen, and I am smitten with it. I think it's just beautiful. It's very nostalgic for me. It kind of reminds me of, you know, Alice in Wonderland, you know, early 1960s, early 1960s. It's just really good. I love it so much. So that's it. The 9th Dimension Tarot. How cool is that? It's just so much fun. So I'm going to take this deck with me to my daughter's house. I'm going to head out now, and I'm going to go play this this game with my grandson. Him and I design tarot decks together, and he also designs his own card game. So he's going to get a kick out of this one. So anyhow, thank you so much for hanging out with me, everybody. And I will be getting up here soon. I have lots of decks in rotation that I'm ready to put on the table and video. I know I'm late. I'm a week late. I try to do at least one a week, but here we go. So on that note, ciao for now. And remember to reach for the stars. Ciao.